What's up, people? Welcome to week 6. I can't believe it. We are almost done. You are actually done at the end of week 7, so it's just 2 weeks. You can't really see my face. That's kind of weird. Let's put me over here. Okay, there you go. Because week 8, I'm just grading and finalizing grades. So your work, everything you're doing, is done next week, which actually means that once you submit SA3 outline and the SA3, which I'm going to go over today, you're done for this course. If you submitted SA2 already, by the time you're watching this lecture, and you complete SA3 outline, submit it, and go straight into SA3, finalizing it, you're good to go. Okay. If you're one of those people who so far have made A's on both your essays, good for you. Even though you don't know that yet because I haven't even graded SA2, but who knows? You might be really confident. Then you can go ahead and move into SA3. Today, I'm going to go over SA3 and talk about everything you need to know about doing it. And then I'm going to talk about the outline. I'm going to show you the outline. And you are going to get that outline done this week. As of right now, it's Monday. I've not even looked at who has submitted SA2. I'm going to spend all week grading those, okay? Now, I am going to be done finishing grading all of SA2s by Friday, okay? Friday. I will not be grading any SA2s Monday or Tuesday, Saturday or Sunday, okay? I will be done Friday. So you have between now and Friday morning to get that essay turned in. Okay. I discussed in one of my previous lectures that if you're using the writing lab, you can have a bit of an extension, and that extension goes to about Thursday morning. Okay. I will be. I don't think I'll even finish grading the essays before Friday morning. Okay. So Friday morning is by Friday at 12. I don't know. At some point, you should know your grade for SA2. If the grade for SA2 is higher than the grade for SA1, I'm going to replace the SA1 grade with also your SA2 grade. Okay. So if you have forgotten what SA grade 1 you received, if you after I grade SA2, if you look in the grade book and you have two of the same exact grades, then that means that SA2 was higher than SA1. Okay. So like if you made a 75 on SA1 and you turn this SA2 in and it's a 95, then you'll see two 95s in there. Okay. Now, if you did not turn in SA1 by the time I hand out zeros and you turned in SA1 late, you are disqualified from the matching of grades of SA2. The grade replacement only counts for those of you who turned in an SA1 by the time I got to grading all of them. Okay. If you have any individual questions, let me know. Okay. So here we go. I mean, we are downhill in a good way. We're on third base, getting ready to go home. Okay. All right. So SA3 memoirs. I want to post this these notes in the week 6 folder. Okay. So you'll have a PDF of those, so that way you can refer back to them. Those notes will not be tie-dye. When they are saved as notes, they're just black and white, boring. Our SA3 memoirs. Y'all are the first group to have this assignment. So, woohoo! All right, literary nonfiction. Literary nonfiction is writing based on facts or realistic events and presented using writing styles and techniques most commonly associated with fiction. It's like fiction, but it's true. Literary nonfiction. Also known as creative nonfiction and or narrative nonfiction. Literary nonfiction utilizes the following elements of fiction. Plot. Plot's important. Okay. There's a story to be told. Now, sometimes it's a collection of short stories from different parts of the person's life, or it's novel length. Characterization. There are distinct characters in literary nonfiction. The writers write with the intention of capturing the realness of the characters, and people are all different, and so we all have different voices. And so in literary nonfiction, even though it is a nonfiction story, it's written the same way in which you would write a fiction story, and you would want to have distinct characters. Setting's important. Setting's often symbolic. Sometimes literary nonfiction, the setting is slightly altered to be more to appeal more to the story. There's still figurative language. There's still moments of reflection. They write in a way that sounds literary, and so they use similes and personification and metaphors and themes important. All these same things that deal with that are part of fiction is also present in literary nonfiction. And there's also the questionable reliability of the narrator. Is it true or not? There's a famous writer who is no longer alive, but Hunter S. Thompson. He was a journalist, and he created his own style of literary nonfiction called gonzo reporting. And his reporting style was very subjective. He would tell the story about what he was seeing. I mean, he went on campaign tours with politicians, wrote about it. And but at the same time, though, he was indulging in drugs and alcohol. And so his account of everything that he was witnessing at times went off into the hallucinatory range. And so you had to start questioning, like, is this real or is this not? And so but the same thing in literature. Sometimes you read a book and the person who's telling the story is not really telling you the full truth. They are an unreliable narrator, and that happens as well also in the framework of literary nonfiction. So y'all read Memoir. Y'all all read a memoir, okay? Memoir is different from autobiography. So a memoir is a nonfiction narrative in which the author shares their memories from a specific time period or reflects upon a string of themed occurrences throughout their life. While autobiography is a factual and historical account of one's entire life from beginning to end. The autobiography starts when one is born and tries to cover everything until the point of writing the book or until their death. Memoirs read more like novels because they have a more informal tone and it's more storytelling, while autobiographies read more like a history book because it has a more formal tone, which means that memoirs tend to be more engaging because it's more how these events impacted the speaker than just what happened. While autobiographies tend to be boring because it focuses on the what happened and less on feelings and how the speaker, the subject, interpreted what happened to them. Memoirs, it is their interpretation of what happened, which sometimes, again, is why you can question their account. It is their, sometimes we reinvent history. The way that we see something. I mean, if you have siblings, you know this. You might have a memory of an event and it might be positive, while one of your siblings has a memory of the same event, but it was terrible for them. So memoirs come with that understanding that this is one person's interpretation of their past. And while autobiographies are more researched and they're more like, this is exactly what happened to me, but I don't necessarily remember how I felt about all this. So autobiographies are perceived as total and absolute fact. So the memoirs that you picked, You could have chose from Brandy Carlisle's Broken Horses, Matthew Perry's book, Tara Westover about growing up homeschooled, but not even really homeschooled at all by some crazy religious nationalistic parents. The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl by Issa Rae as a woman, sort of a trans woman. Chris Kyle, American Sniper, his time in the military. The Awkward Thoughts of W. Kamau Bell, sort of his rise into comedy. Emily's book, I can't pronounce her last name. My Body, which is her experience as a model and getting into show business and being objectified. Let's see. The Brainwashing of My Dad, which is the one that's slightly different than these other ones. Jen is talking about her father. It is a memoir in a sense because it deals so much with her life and with her youth and growing up and her experience with her dad and all the things that she shares about dealing with her father. She is experiencing with him. It does get into her research on media manipulation, okay, and so it kind of steers into some of that informational nonfiction genre. But even though like it's less about her and her own life, it is about her experience with her father. So that one's the one that's slightly different than these others. Ta Coates, Between the World and Me. Girl Decoded by Rana L. Cowboy. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name, really. The Stranger in the Woods, which again, also Michael Finkel, kind of like Jensenko, he's writing about the subject, about the person who was in the woods and their life. And he also kind of writes about his experience with this person. So it is slightly different, but it was such a good book. And it really does feel like the hermit's own story, even though Michael writes it. So I did want to still include it in this list. And then I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy and her story. Those are the ones that you should have picked. If you did not pick one of those books, or you did not read one of those books, uh-oh, you need to get on it, okay? Because I've read all the books, and that's important because when I'm grading your essays, I'm relying on the fact that I know your book, okay? So if you haven't read it, if for whatever reason, you need to giddy up and get on that. Okay. So I'm gonna go into the essay 3 description, which I'm also posting as an individual Word document. Um, where is it? Well, you will see it. You will see where I posted it in week 6, if where it's all on just one document. Okay, but this is all it says though. The literary research essay is just a long analytical essay with more research. You would choose a college level memoir. This essay is analytical. It is not a summary. Don't retell the story. Assume your reader has read it, because I have. Your essay should have the following components. It must have an introduction, body paragraphs, conclusion, thesis statements, good development, topic sentences, transition words, works cited page. Your paper must be double spaced. 4 full pages, about 1,400 words. Again, like I said in last week's or this past Saturday's lecture, I'm more focused about the number of words than the length, because some people write in 11-point font, some people write in 12-point font, and then some jokesters try to write in a 13 or 14-point font to make it seem longer than it actually is. Okay, no. So I'm looking for 1,400 words. Okay. You must cite your main source, which is the primary source of your memoir that you read, have quotes from it, and then incorporate and cite at least 2 secondary sources. So I modified this actually. This essay originally had 3 outside sources, like your poetry essay, and I realized after looking at what I really want from y'all to write, which I'll get to in a moment, I only really need 2 outside sources from you. Okay, so there you go. Congratulations. Turns out essay 2 was the hardest essay. All right, so this is the way that your essay should flow. I have on here each things you should discuss in your in all your paragraphs. Your introduction. You should state the title and author of the book, a general overview of what the book recounts, who's it about, what story, what kind of topics do they discuss, and then your thesis statement or sentences about the body paragraphs. So you're gonna have two paragraphs, body paragraphs 2 and 3 will discuss each in their own an issue that had an impact on the speaker. So you're finding two issues. All right. Your second paragraph will be about one issue, and your third paragraph will be about another issue that had an impact on the speaker or to a character in the book, such as abuse, sexuality, addiction. One of the isms, racism, sexism, heterosexism. Heterosexism is essentially the impact on non-heterosexuals living in a heterosexual world. So it's kind of like homophobia. Okay. Uh, Nationalism in the form of like xenophobia, this sort of discrimination paid towards immigrants, trauma, abandonment. Also, they can be positive issues like success, accomplishment, achievement, adversity, these things as well. So like you could pick one negative issue and then one positive issue, or two negative issues or two positive issues. If your book even has any positive issues. Some of the best stories are the stories that not a lot of positive things happen. Of course, all these people are famous as well. I mean, like every single one of these people who wrote that you had a chance to read, the only person who probably isn't famous is the hermit guy. The rest of them have all gone on to do stuff. So there is some positivity and success in all these stories. Hold on. Research the issues and how they generally affect people and apply that to the speaker slash character. Does your speaker succumb to the same type of effects as most people who face this issue? Or did your speaker find ways to get around or overcome these effects, etc.? Okay. So discuss like characteristics or qualities or impacts or effects of these issues, and then analyze how that impacted your speaker. Okay. Paragraph 4 is going to be about the theme of the book. What is the unifying theme of this text? If you had to reduce your book to one main idea that the writer wants you to know in general, and not about them, but something that the reader can walk away with and apply it to their own selves, what would it be? Theme is when you write a theme, you don't it's not about the book or the characters. It's a statement that you can apply to anyone. Okay. So like in a lot of like Ernest Hemingway novels, oftentimes he has the theme of how war kills the impact of war on soldiers who survive is often this de-emotionalism within them. They come back traumatized, and they lose passion for the things in their lives, and they end up just roaming around because they've been traumatized. Okay, so like the theme From the Bell Tolls, that theme that I just said about how the impact on soldiers, I didn't mention any of the characters in the story. I didn't mention anything that specifically happened in the story other than war in general. So that's something that can be applied to other people in the world. Okay. So when you're writing your theme and you're discussing the theme of the story, don't include the characters in your talk. Just say in general, this story is about these big topics and about the impact it has on people. Okay. Conclusion. How do you feel about this book personally? Did you relate? Not relate? Feel enlightened? Reminded of someone you know who is like this? Maybe more sympathetic now, or less sympathetic to people like this. Okay. So the conclusion is your personal reflection of how you feel. Introduction and the body paragraphs should be written in third person. The conclusion can definitely and should be first person. Okay. All right. So that's the overall description. If you have individual questions, you can definitely reach out. I there's a lot of wiggle room, which is fine. Okay. Your outline, the week 6 folder. I'm gonna post the outline, memoir essay outline. Okay, template. So this is your outline that you can use to get ready for your paper. Okay. Your last name, your name, first and last. There's my name already written there, so you don't have to misspell it. The course and the due date. This is due July 2nd. Okay, next week. Title of your book, introduction. Put the title of your book again. Put the author's name, and then figure out your 2 issues that you want to discuss about your book. 2 issues. Figure out your theme. What you think your book is. One thing that your book is sort of about, a message your book has to the readers. Then you're going to put that issue here for issue 1, and then you're going to find an excerpt from your book where you can, that maybe either has a direct quote, be great, or if not, just a little summary from your book about where this issue occurs. And then you're going to do research and find something that you are going to apply to your understanding of the character. And then you're going to put your citation here. And you're going to do that for issue 2 as well. Here you'll put what you think your theme is about, what I think the theme is. And then something from the book that makes you feel this way, that tells you this. And then concluding personal reflection. Okay, what do you feel? And again, here for your outline. So I'm going to show you sort of an example of these. I think I have it right here. Okay, yeah. So here's an example of mine. My name, Elliot Sir Thomas. You know that's not really my name. Mr. Myers. I read this book. Sometimes I trip on how happy we could be. This is a memoir as well by Nicole Perkins. So I have my book title. Sometimes I trip on how happy we could be. Have the author, Nicole Perkins. One issue that she discusses a lot throughout the book is interracial dating. She is a Black woman, and so she writes about her experience dating white men. And then another issue she has here is about the importance of boundaries. She refers to boundaries a lot in many different relationships that she discusses. Okay. And then the theme that I feel in one of the themes of this book, so maybe not every theme, but at least one theme that she discusses throughout this book, is the life you live needs to be on your own terms rather than what other people expect of you. So I figured those out. I'm going to copy and paste interracial dating to my issue 1. And then I'm going to copy and paste importance of boundaries on issue 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste my themes to what I think the theme is. Okay, here we go. Okay. And now I need to find quotes from my book and quotes from the research that I would put on my outline. Okay, so I'm just going to show you an example of one issue that I'm doing. Okay, I'm not going to do all of these, all right, because it should be repetitive. So interracial dating. Okay, in this story, she decides to start dating white guys. Okay, for a variety of different reasons, right? And one of those goes wrong, dating this guy. And so I got this excerpt from the story where she talks about how when she breaks up with this guy who happens to be white, he begins stalking her and she becomes fearful for her life. So she files a police report and a restraining order against him. But after she tells the white cop that the man is also white, the cop replies, "Boy, he must really like you to come all that way." And she says, it felt so nasty and scuzzy. I guess he thought he was complimenting me, like, you've got a white boy driving from Jersey to be with you. You must be worth it. Even though he was stalking her, making her fearful for her life. And so I was doing some research and I found this article right here about what no one tells you about dating a white guy. And this is, it's a positive, it's a mostly positive article about it, right? But one of these is you'll learn firsthand about white male privilege. And this is what I'm going to use in my paper because it is the white male privilege that this guy receives from the cop who clearly does not see this guy as really, he's not taking her feelings of threat and danger seriously because this guy that she's filing against happens to also be a white guy. And so let's say I want to use this, okay? Well, I need to do the citation. So this is a website. I'm just going to copy the address, okay? And I'm going to go to easybib.com, easybib.com. I'm going to go to website. I'm going to put in my, once it pops up, my URL. Okay, and then this is going to help me create my citation. Yep, site. All right, I'm gonna hit site, and then I'm gonna check to make sure all the fields are filled out. Article, URL, website. Okay, continue. Let's see. Set the writer. All right, author, first name 5 minutes, last name Reed. That's not correct. So I'm gonna go up here, and this is Jill Roby or Robbie. So I'm gonna put Jill Robbie. It doesn't have more than one author, so we're gonna delete that. Delete that. Okay. Website title. Yeah, this is fine. All right. Complete citation. I want to view a sponsored message, but I won't make you view it. Okay. So then here is the citation. I'm going to copy it. Go back to my document. I'm just going to put it here. Right there. Boom. Okay. Good. So I'm going to do the same thing for issue 2. Okay. I don't need a quote for theme discussion. I can have a quote from the story if you want one. I think it'd be great. I mean, no, I'm sorry. You have to have a quote from the story. Okay. You need to have a quote in every body paragraph. It's just 2 body paragraphs. You will have outside sources. And then this one, you'll definitely have your primary source. Okay. Now, in my actual essay, I probably won't use this entire long quote. Okay. I'm going to summarize some of it. It might just probably have this right here. You've got a white boy driving from Jersey to be with you. You must be worth it. That's what I'll probably just include in my paper if I was actually writing this paper. Okay. All right. So that's what you should be doing. Essentially, all of this. Okay. I demonstrated here for you this first one, and then you do it here. Okay. If you have any questions or you want me to check over if you're on the right path, then send me what you got and I'll look at it. Okay. Everything will be posted in the week 6 file, so you'll be able to find it all there. All right, y'all. Take it easy. All right. Bye-bye.